Hi all, this is Skate and Uprising. My god, what a nutty game mode. It is insane. Now, before we talk about Uprising, I just got to chuck out an apology to you guys for the lack of video content over the last week and a half again. Work has sadly become what I can only describe as insane as of recent. Much like the Uprising gameplay. But it's, it's got very, very busy, and when you get home from work and put the kids to bed and you bath them and feed them, not in that order obviously, you bath them after you fed them and then you put them to bed. But yeah, once you've done all that, I just want to sit down. I'm exhausted. I play a bit of Blitz, I'll quickly go in and do the missions. And then, to be honest, this week I've just been crashing out, except for that one night where I did a live stream with Meaty. But aside from that, it's been very, very busy. So apologies, I've been dying to get videos done, and today being Sunday, I've just slammed out a whole host of videos, so at least if I don't have time in the week, I will have a few ready to go during this week. I'm actually trying to be a bit more organised in that regard. And I've got a bit of a quiet Sunday, so kind of took advantage of that. So I'm going to do hopefully about 4 or 5 videos, and then after that, yay, more painting. Cannot wait. On a plus note, once I finish painting that bathroom wall, my bathroom is done. I've got a nice new shower, new bath, everything's been redone, which would be great, because then it means hopefully I don't need to touch it again, ever. Unless someone changes their mind on what they want in regards to decorations, of course. I'm not looking at anyone except my wife. And I only have the nuts to say that because she's just gone out with the little ones. Which is kind of why I'm taking advantage of the quiet house to go, right, I'm going to bang out some videos. But yeah, that's enough about what's going on in Skate's life. In regards to the actual Halloween event, I'm going to drop a video tomorrow regarding that and my opinions on it, because I have been asked a lot about that. But first, Uprising. It's such a unique and fun game mode, and I'm loving having the longer battles. In fact, one thing I'm taking away from this, other than the nutty dying things and having the ability to be crazy fast or dropping what's effectively a nuke on an enemy tank, I want to see in Blitz a game mode where we have more tanks against us, longer battle times. I've really enjoyed these longer battles. Only 2 minutes, but 2 minutes and extra tanks goes a very long way. Now, that mode I would love to see in the future. None of the crazy stuff, although the crazy stuff is fun, but I couldn't deal with it on a daily basis. Forever anyway. But yeah, you imagine just having 9-minute game modes with something like 10, 11 or 12 tanks. That would be an absolute blast. And the reason I say that, rather than going, yeah, respawn, because I don't think the respawn is actually all that great. If you are the last tank alive and there's 4 enemy tanks or 3 enemy tanks, they know where you're going to come from approximately. Yes, you are invisible for a short period of time. The reality is there's not really a lot you can do to get away from all those tanks waiting for you to respawn. So that's a bit of a negative. Granted, it is only for a short period, and this is just meant to be a fun game mode, but that, if you were going to do something like this in a long term, or they're trying the idea of respawns, it really needs regrouping, and I couldn't stand the idea of having invisible tanks in the actual game mode. That would be ridiculous. So that's why I say I would rather have like 12 tanks in a game with 9 minutes instead of respawns. But honestly, this Uprising mode is just bonkers. It's so much fun. I mean, I've got a tank at the moment with 210% extra engine power. This thing is stupidly well armoured, and now it has very, very good mobility. Yes, its DPM still sucks, but using that extra mobility to try and angle your armour effectively allows you to survive longer, thus meaning that you can do more damage. I mean, in that circumstance, I hate that dead thing, I'm going to say. It's it's funny when I'm using it, but my god, when someone else does it, it irritates the hell out of me. Which is why I'm not wasting a shot on that tank. At the moment, all I care about is trying to get down, so it's just my turret displayed, and now I'm in a much stronger position. If I didn't have that extra engine boost, there is no way I would have got back to this position in time to keep myself alive. And, of course, all of my team spawn behind me when they die, which again puts me in an even stronger scenario. And then once we've weakened off the tanks up there, I can use that extra mobility to run in. Or, if someone pops out, we can just spin them round and dunk a giant HE shell into the rear of them. I was hoping for a ram here, but someone finished them off first. And now I can go address those tanks up the other end. I'd say the best perk, or my favourite perk to try and get hold of, is the Inferno. Because it doesn't matter what tank you are in, Inferno is phenomenally good. I mean, I like the double shot only in certain tanks. If you have a double shot ability in a grill, because the accuracy is so good, it's more than workable with the double shot. The same with a lot of medium tanks. T-62A with a double shot, it works very, very well. Something like a Death Star with a double shot, yes, when you do connect, it's highly amusing, but the reality is unless you are in a very close quarters battle, the likelihood of both connecting is very, very slim. Now this ability a lot of heavy tanks have to spin people around. I thought it was pretty weak at first. When I first started looking at all the abilities, I kind of went, really? That one's going to be bottom of the pile of interesting. But you know what? That ability on German heavies is flat out hysterical. Something American comes up towards you. You spin them round, you load HE, and you cry laughing. The same with nearly every single medium tank. You spin them round, dump them in the butt with a giant HE shell, and you just cry laughing at them. It's also a nice way of stopping tanks hitting you. If they're aiming in on you, spin them round very quickly, and it stops them landing their shot reliably, and that can give you that extra little bit of time you need to reload and put one into them. I think another thing that is overlooked in this mode is dying on purpose. Sometimes YOLOing in a little bit to make sure you may do a bit of damage while you're dying, but make sure you die once you've got enough elixir on that left hand side. And the reason being is because you can take advantage of those abilities and it makes you much better as a tank, especially when we put Inferno on and we put that rapid fire 2, minus 35% of the reload. It makes it fun. This game's actually a good example of it. I could have potentially died a little bit earlier and taken more advantage of those abilities longer in the battle. As it stands now, there is not much left for me to use these against. So when I get to a certain amount of elixir, I have found myself on purpose now YOLOing in to die just so I can get hold of those perks to make me a much more formidable tank. Now when I say YOLO in, to clarify, I do mean go down fighting, but just run in, overexpose yourself when you can see that you've got enough elixir to cash out on the biggest 400 perk. And I'm glad I've started doing that because I found it's improved my gameplay a bit. Granted, you run a risk of losing a life over what potentially could be something silly, but the amount you can do extra for your team by having those crazy abilities can really make the difference in a game because, as we've mentioned earlier, with the respawns, if I'm the last to survive because I was surviving too long and saving my hit points too long, it's pointless being alone versus 4 because as soon as I respawn, they're all going to be in the area looking for me and I'm not going to be able to get away from all of them. And by that stage of the game, everyone's probably got Inferno anyway or something similar and you just get obliterated, like this guy is. So if you haven't tried that, I recommend giving that a go, because that is a fun little tip which will actually improve your enjoyment in the Uprising mode. Now, however much I am loving this, oh, actually, before we talk that, I'm glad it's not staying, basically, is what I was going to say. One thing Meaty's pointed out, and it's fairly obvious now, is this mode does not contribute to your stats. We all know this. However, it's fudged up the XP bar, because although it's not contributing to your actual tanks, it is contributing the XP bar on the actual game. So masteries are almost out the window. In other words, there's 2,200 XP base on that game, which is nuts. Now that shouldn't count towards normal game modes, but it appears the XP earned wargaming haven't stopped it interfering. So although it's not counted stats, as we've said, or to your tanks or anything like that, any damage done that crazy is affecting the bar in normal encounter and supremacy modes. And let's be fair, no one gets 2,200 base XP in a normal mode, so therefore masteries are almost out of the window at the moment until this mode finishes. Talking of this mode though, however much fun it is, I would never like to see this in a permanent feature. So if Wargaming is considering this permanent, please don't try and replace counter or the normal structure with respawns potentially, or because this is what they do. They try all different things in fun modes and then consider implementing them. I would hate to see respawns in normal battles. That would really irritate me. And of course, with respawns, you've basically got 3 lives, which means you're doing 3 times the amount of damage potentially. And thus, the XP bar is completely screwed, and you'd have to be forced to play this mode in the future unless they completely separated it, which defeats the point in the mode being permanent. So please, no respawns. Maybe extra tanks in battles. Like I said at the start, that would be joyous fun. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.